11:47 at night. A hospital bed on wheels crashed through the doors. A Navy SEAL Admiral was lying completely still. His uniform was ripped with 5 bullet holes. Blood was pouring through his clothes as doctors shouted at each other. His blood pressure is going down. We're losing him. They tried everything. Nothing worked. Then the quiet new nurse stepped forward. Emma Clark, the girl no one trusted, the one everyone ignored. She leaned over the Admiral, placed 2 fingers on his neck, and whispered, "Not yet." Her hands moved faster than the doctor's. She did something special that none of them knew. Something she learned in Afghanistan. The heart monitor beeped faster. His body started working again. The room went silent. The doctors stared at her like she had done something impossible. 10 minutes later, they fired her for breaking the rules. Emma walked out of the hospital quietly. That's when 10 black government cars screeched to a stop right in front of her. Government agents stepped out. Not for the Admiral. For her. Because she wasn't just a new nurse. She was the last living combat doctor from a secret SEAL team that was killed in Afghanistan. And tonight, they wanted answers. Before we begin, take 2 seconds to comment where you're watching from and hit subscribe. Your support truly keeps these stories alive. 11:47 at night. Street Helena Emergency Center. The doors didn't just open, they exploded. A hospital bed flew through the hallway so fast that a medical cart almost fell over. Nurses moved out of the way. Hospital workers froze. Even doctors who had seen terrible things before got scared when they saw the uniform. A Navy SEAL Admiral lying completely still. His uniform was torn by 5 bullet holes. Blood was soaking through his tan uniform and dripping off the bed rails, leaving a trail behind them like a red line going back to whatever war zone he came from. 5 gunshot wounds. His body isn't stable. Blood pressure is dropping. "Move," the paramedic shouted. The Admiral's metal name tags hit against his chest with every push, making noise down the hallway like a warning bell. Inside emergency room 6, everything went crazy instantly. A dozen voices yelled. Hands moved too fast to see. Machines beeped wildly. No one agreed on anything. Stop the bleeding. He's losing too much blood. We can't find a heartbeat. His heart has stopped twice already. Doctors crowded around the Admiral, tearing open his uniform, seeing the deep wounds across his body. Blood soaked the sheets under him, making his skin dark red. His face was pale, the color of someone who wasn't supposed to survive. Through all the chaos, someone quietly came into the room. Emma Clark, a new nurse, barely 7 months into her job. She was given mostly simple tasks like giving medicine and checking blood pressure because no one trusted her with anything bigger. She moved like a shadow, calm, silent, unseen, always ignored. But not tonight. She stepped closer to the chaos like something was pulling her in, even though the older staff completely ignored her. One doctor yelled, "We're losing him. Someone get that new nurse out of here." Another snapped, "She shouldn't even be in the room." Emma didn't say anything. She just stared at the Admiral. Something inside her changed. Something old. Something buried deep inside. The way his chest went up and down unevenly. The way the blood pooled in certain patterns. The way his heartbeat went from weak to almost gone. The way his breathing sounded choked, like something inside was breaking. It wasn't random, it was familiar. The room kept going crazy. Pressure is dropping. Where's the breathing specialist? He's dying again. Someone do something. Emma stepped forward before her brain could stop her. Her hand moved to the Admiral's neck, 2 fingers to the exact spot she needed, pressing in a way that looked strange to all the doctors watching. "Get her away from him," one doctor yelled, but Emma didn't move. Her eyes narrowed, her breathing became steady. She whispered quietly, not to the room, but to him. "Stay with me, Admiral." Her hands moved with practiced skill, the kind of skill that doesn't come from nursing school, but from war. She tilted his airway just slightly, put pressure in a pattern no regular doctor would know, then fixed the angle of his oxygen mask. The monitors beeped faster. Beep, beep, beep. A steady beat. The room froze. What just happened? His pressure is going up. Is that even possible? What did she just do? Emma stepped back. Her chest was going up and down. Her calm face didn't show any of the shock pounding inside her chest. She didn't want to think about where she learned that move. She didn't want to remember. But her body remembered for her. A dusty tent in Kandahar. A SEAL teammate bleeding out. Her commanding officer shouting, "Clark, you're the only one who can do this." A heartbeat that came back because of her hands. And then the explosion that killed her entire team. Emma blinked hard, pulling herself back into the bright light of the emergency room. The Admiral's body kept getting better on the screen. A miracle by every normal standard. The head doctor turned on her, face red with embarrassment. "You had no permission to touch him." Emma opened her mouth, but nothing came out. She didn't know how to explain what she did or how she knew how to do it. "Get out!" he shouted. "You just broke federal rules." A senior nurse grabbed Emma's arm and pulled her back. "You shouldn't have touched him," she whispered harshly. "He's not a normal patient. You don't understand." Emma looked at the Admiral's still face, remembering how he had once looked at her across a battlefield. His voice echoed in her memory. "Clark, if I don't make it, tell them we didn't go down easy." She swallowed hard and stepped out of the room. 10 minutes later, she was standing in the director's office, badge in one hand, firing papers in front of her. "You put a federal person in danger," the director said coldly. "You are fired immediately. Security will walk you out." Emma didn't defend herself. She just nodded, placed her badge on the desk, and walked out with empty hands and a heavy heart full of silence. Outside the hospital, the night hit her like a cold slap. Her breath made fog in the air. Her scrubs were still stained with the Admiral's blood. She started walking toward the parking lot. The ground shook under her feet. Engines, big ones, she turned. 10 black government cars swung into the hospital driveway. Bright headlights blazing through the darkness. All 10 cars stopped at the exact same moment, perfectly lined up. Doors opened at the same time. Men in black suits stepped out with the perfect movements of trained soldiers. 2 nurses inside the building gasped. Someone whispered, "Oh my God, did the Admiral die?" But Emma knew right away they weren't here for a dead body. They were here for a secret she'd spent years hiding. A man with a cold face and a badge that wasn't marked with any known agency stepped toward her. "Emma Clark," he said, voice low but strong. Emma didn't say anything. He stepped closer. "We've been looking for you." Her heart pounded, her breath caught. Her mind screamed to run, but her body stayed still. The man's eyes narrowed. "You saved the Admiral once before," he said quietly. "In Afghanistan." Emma's heart stopped. He continued. "And tonight, you saved him again." The hospital doors behind them opened slightly as staff watched what was happening. Confused, scared, desperate to know what was going on. Emma felt the past claw its way back into her lungs. The man looked her straight in the eyes. "And now we need you." Her knees almost gave out, but the real blow came next. "Emma," he said, stepping closer, lowering his voice to a whisper only she could hear. "Your entire SEAL team wasn't killed by the enemy. Someone betrayed you." The world tilted. Her fingertips shook, her breath broke in her chest. And then he said the words that ripped open the wound she'd spent years trying to bury. "The traitor works in your hospital." Emma's heart stopped cold, and the night swallowed everything around her. Emma didn't realize she was shaking until one of the agents stepped forward and placed a steady hand near, but not on, her elbow, like approaching a hurt animal. The hospital's cold parking lot suddenly felt suffocating, thick with secrets she never meant to face again. The neon emergency sign flickered above them, making flashes of red light across the black cars like warning lights. "Let's take this inside the car," the lead agent said. "Not here. Too many people watching." Emma looked back toward the glass hospital doors. Faces were pressed against them. Nurses were whispering. Doctors were staring. The director was practically glued to the window, horrified and curious. She swallowed hard and turned away. The last thing she wanted was to give them another show. The agent pointed to a car door. Emma hesitated, then got in. Inside was warm, silent, and smelled faintly like leather. The door shut with a heavy thud, cutting off the outside world. The inside lights dimmed automatically. 2 agents sat on either side of her. The lead agent sat across from her with a tablet already open, files pulled up that made her stomach twist. A photo of her, but not as Emma Clark, the nurse. As Petty Officer Emma Clark, SEAL Combat Doctor. Black uniform. Night vision goggles lifted onto her helmet, guns across her chest, and a smile she didn't remember being able to have anymore. "We never believed you died," the agent said. "But we didn't expect you'd come back as a nurse." Emma looked away. "I didn't come back. I hid." The agent nodded once, understanding without judging. "The attack in Afghanistan. The report never made sense. Your team was too experienced, too smart, too well-trained to walk into a trap like that." Emma's throat tightened. She saw the images again. Fire in the sky, metal twisting, bodies falling. Her heart pounded in her ears. "You were the only survivor," he continued. "But you were badly hurt. When you woke up at Landstuhl Hospital, you disappeared before anyone could talk to you." "I didn't disappear," she whispered, voice cracking. "I escaped." The agent looked at another agent. "Why?" Emma breathed out long and slow. "Because I heard two analysts talking outside my room. They said the attack wasn't random. They said someone sold us out. Someone high up enough that it would never be written down." She lifted her eyes. Tears were burning, but she refused to let them fall. "And I knew if the traitor realized I survived, they'd finish killing me." Silence filled the car. Heavy, electric, respectful. The agent leaned forward slightly. "Emma, that traitor tried to kill the Admiral tonight." Emma's entire body went cold. "We heard secret communications from inside your hospital," he continued. "Secret messages planning the attack. The shooter wasn't acting alone. Someone in your ER secretly changed his medicine when he arrived." Emma's heart pounded in her neck. No, but the image of the head doctor screaming at her, the director firing her instantly, the way everyone rushed to remove her from the Admiral's side. It wasn't a mistake. It was on purpose. Her hand clenched against her leg. "Who?" The agent tapped the tablet screen. A blurry security photo popped up. A man in scrubs. Mask on, hat pulled low. But the eyes. Emma recognized those eyes. No. It couldn't be. Her voice cracked. "That's Dr. Holloway." The agent nodded. "Chief trauma surgeon. He was in Afghanistan." Emma whispered, memories crashing together. "He was working at our forward operating base 2 days before the attack. He said he was studying battlefield medical care." Her breath stopped. "He was watching our patterns," she whispered. "He knew exactly where our team would be the night we were hit. And tonight," the agent added, "he signed the order to fire you to get you away from the Admiral's bedside." Emma's stomach twisted with betrayal, so deep it felt physical. The agent leaned closer. "He didn't fire you because you broke the rules. He fired you because you were the only one who could save the Admiral. Because he knew you recognized things no one else could." Emma squeezed her eyes shut. She'd spent years running from her past, and it had been following her this entire time. "We need your help," the agent said softly. Emma opened her eyes. "I'm not a soldier anymore. You don't need to be. We just need your memory, your gut feelings, your eyes on the scene. You're the only one alive who knows how the first attack happened, and why this one looks exactly the same." Emma didn't speak. The car began moving, pulling away from the ER. Agents in the front talked quietly through radios, their voices low and urgent. The lead car took the front. The rest formed a protective box around her car. Emma stared through the dark glass as the hospital got smaller behind them. "Where are we going?" she finally asked. "To a safe place," the agent replied. "Somewhere you can talk freely and where no one can reach you." Emma looked back at the hospital once more. She saw Dr. Holloway standing in the glass entrance, phone raised to his ear, face shadowed in anger rather than worry. Her chest tightened. For years, she'd been the quiet nurse no one noticed. Tonight, she realized why that had kept her alive. The car group sped through the empty streets until they turned into an abandoned industrial lot. A warehouse loomed in the darkness. Lights flickered to life as the cars got close. The gates slid open automatically. Inside, the warehouse had been changed into a mobile command center. Screens lit up with satellite images, medical charts, secret messages scrolling in real time. Emma stepped out of the car slowly, breath shaking. Every agent in the building turned toward her. Some nodded with respect. Some stood straighter when she came in. Some watched her with the kind of awe normally saved for war heroes. She wasn't used to it. She didn't want it, but she felt the weight of it all the same. The lead agent guided her to a table. On it were the Admiral's medical chart, the bullets pulled from his uniform, a secret flash drive, security footage from the ER earlier tonight. And then Emma saw the last item, a photo, not of her, not of the Admiral, but of her entire SEAL team, smiling, alive, taken the day before they died. Her knees weakened. Her fingertips hovered above the image but didn't touch it. The agent spoke quietly. "We believe Dr. Holloway planned the attack in Afghanistan, and tonight's attack was meant to finish the Admiral before he could identify him." Emma's throat tightened painfully. "He was my friend." "No," the agent corrected softly. "That's the mask he wore." Emma stared at the board. The connections, the timeline, the locations, everything matched too perfectly. "He'll come after me," she whispered. "He already tried," the agent replied. "Firing you was step one. Getting access to you once the Admiral died. That was step two." Emma swallowed. "What do you want me to do?" "Tell us everything," the agent said. "Walk us through the Afghanistan mission. Every detail, every gut feeling, every moment that didn't feel right." Emma looked at the faces of her fallen teammates. Then she breathed out slowly and nodded. "All right," she whispered. "I'll help." But before the lead agent could speak, an emergency alarm blared across the warehouse. Code red. "The Admiral is dying again." Emma's heart jumped, but the agent's next words were worse. "And Doctor?" "Holloway disappeared from the hospital 5 minutes ago." The warehouse fell into chaos. Emma froze because she realized something horrible. Holloway wasn't running. He was hunting, and she was the target. If you think we should never judge the quiet ones, comment, "Never judge." For a moment, the warehouse felt frozen in silence. Every agent stopped. Screens flickered red with the alarm. Emma stood still, heart pounding in her ears as the words repeated in her mind. "The Admiral is dying again. Dr. Holloway is missing." The lead agent jumped into action first, shouting orders into his radio. "Lock down the hospital. Guard all exits. No one gets in or out without permission." Workers sprinted across the room, switching screens, tracking heat signatures, changing satellite images. Emma's heart twisted. If Holloway wanted the Admiral dead, this was the moment he'd strike. Weak, vulnerable, surrounded by staff trained to trust him. He could slip into the room with a mask and gloves, inject something clear and impossible to trace, and walk out like nothing happened. That's exactly how he did it in Afghanistan. She stepped forward, breath sharp. "We need to get back to the hospital now." The agent turned. "Emma, you're not allowed to. No one knows his patterns like I do." She cut in, voice shaking but steady. "You think this is random? He kills the same way. Same dose, same approach. He's repeating the exact method from our FOB attack." She grabbed the Admiral's chart from the table. "If he wants him dead, he'll do it himself tonight before Federal Command arrives." The agent hesitated for only half a second. "Gear up," he ordered his team. "We move," the group roared out of the warehouse like a pack of wolves. Engines low, tires silent, lights off. Emma sat in the middle car, with 2 soldiers on either side who checked their weapons with perfect movements. Her fingers dug into her scrub pants, knuckles white. Her mind replayed the faces of her fallen squad. Garrett, Silva, Hall, Commander Reyes. All dead because someone they trusted helped put them in a trap. And Holloway wanted to erase the last 2 people who could expose him, the Admiral and her. "You okay?" One of the agents asked quietly. Emma stared out the dark window at the rushing street lights. "I knew something felt wrong when he fired me. I just didn't want to believe it. He fooled a lot of people," the agent replied. "But you survived him once. That's why you're here." Emma swallowed hard. She didn't feel brave. She didn't feel ready. She felt like the girl who watched her world burn and ran before the flames touched her. But she didn't run tonight. 5 minutes out, the driver called. The agents nodded to each other, vests adjusted. Earpieces clicked, weapons checked. The car buzzed with controlled energy. Emma breathed in slowly. He won't go through the front entrance. No, the agent agreed. He'll use a staff access route. Emma closed her eyes. The service hallway behind Trauma 7. There's a blind spot in the cameras. He'd know that. The agent smirked. Good, you're thinking like him. Emma hated that she could. When they reached the hospital, the entire building was lit up. Police cars blocked the main entrance. Nurses huddled outside, whispering frantically. Doctors scrolled through their phones, pale and shaky. Someone cried near the curb. Emma didn't stop. She pushed through them as the agents formed a tight cover around her. Inside, the ER buzzed with panic. We lost his pulse again. Where's Dr. Holloway? He's supposed to. Someone check the medicine logs. We need ICU backup. Emma ran toward Trauma 6, but the agent grabbed her wrist. Emma, slow down. She yanked free. We don't have time. The room was chaos again, but this time it was different. Frantic, disorganized, desperate. Nurses moved like scattered birds. A young doctor tried and failed to put a breathing tube in. Someone knocked over a tray. The Admiral's monitors flashed angry red. The doctor in charge spun toward the agents. Who are you? You can't just... Emma shoved past him. She looked at the Admiral, pale, sweating, shaking, but breathing barely, and then she noticed it. His IV line. The fluid bag hanging above him wasn't one the ER used. Wrong brand. Wrong color. Wrong tubing clasp. Holloway's been here, Emma whispered. The agents raised their weapons instantly, checking the corners. Emma grabbed the IV line and followed it down to the port. A faint chemical smell hit her nose, one she knew too well. The same poison used in the Afghan attack. The same one that made her entire squad collapse in minutes. Her throat tightened. He dosed him, but not fully. He's trying to poison slowly, so the death looks natural. She tore the line free, slamming her hand on the emergency stop switch. A nurse screamed. Another gasped. You can't do that, a doctor shouted. Emma ignored him. Get me fresh saline. 3 units now. No, she's fired, someone yelled. She's not supposed to touch him. An agent stepped forward. She's federally authorized. Move. Nurses scrambled. Emma stabilized the airway with rapid, practiced hands. Her body moved before her mind caught up. Instinct replacing thought. Clamp, flush, pressure, reposition, breathe, monitor. His vitals rose by a hair, enough to keep him alive. But she felt it. A presence. Eyes. Someone was watching. She lifted her head slowly. There, through the window of the trauma room, a figure stood, partly hidden behind a corner wall. Masked, hat low, hands still. Dr. Holloway, watching her work, watching her undo what he spent hours planning. Her blood ran cold. He didn't run away. He wanted her to see him. He tipped his head slightly, mocking her, daring her to come stop him. Emma's chest tightened with rage. He's here. The agents turned immediately toward the window, weapons raised, but Holloway vanished into the hall with chilling calm. The lead agent growled. Lock down the floor. Emma didn't wait. She ran through the trauma wing, past the nurse's station, down the dim service hall where the lights flickered weakly. Every step echoed. Her breath hit the air like steam. She turned the corner and froze. A body lay on the floor. A nurse, her name badge reading S. Morales, pulse faint, injection mark on her neck. Emma's stomach lurched. The agents came over carefully, checking her vitals, ordering backup. She's alive, one said. Barely. Emma's hands shook. He's trying to erase witnesses. Then she saw something on the wall. A smeared handprint of blood, dragged fresh, and next to it, a single word scrawled hurriedly with a finger. Run. Emma stared at it, breath trapped in her throat. But the agent, behind her, swallowed hard. That's not a threat, he said quietly. He's not telling you to run. Emma turned, confused. The agent met her eyes grimly. He's telling you he's coming. Emma's pulse jumped. A noise echoed at the far end of the hallway. A rolling cart tipping over, metal crashing to the floor. The agents raised their rifles instantly. Emma felt her heart slam against her ribs. Then, from the darkness at the end of the hall, a figure stepped forward. Slow, deliberate, purposeful. Dr. Holloway. Gloves on, mask up, eyes cold. He lifted a syringe filled with clear liquid and spoke the words that made Emma's blood freeze solid. "You were supposed to die with the rest of them, Emma." Doctor. Holloway's voice echoed through the dim service hallway, cold enough to freeze the air around Emma. "You were supposed to die with the rest of them." Emma didn't move, didn't blink, didn't breathe. The syringe in Holloway's gloved hand sparkled under the flickering light, clear liquid swirling like a ghost inside. The same poison he used in Afghanistan. The same one he'd already slipped into the Admiral's line. The same one that almost killed her squad. Her throat tightened. Why them? Why him? Why us? Holloway stepped closer, slow and deliberate. Because your commanding officer was about to expose a contract that would cost powerful men billions. He refused to play along, so he had to go. And your entire squad just happened to be in the way. Emma felt something old and dark uncoil inside her chest. You killed them. He shook his head in fake sadness. War killed them. I just redirected it. The agents spread out behind Emma, weapons raised. But Holloway lifted the syringe, placing the needle gently against his own throat. Not to inject himself, but as leverage. "One step closer," he warned, "and this hits the bloodstream of the nearest person I touch, including her." His eyes locked on Emma's. She felt her heart stutter. His boots clicked against the floor as he came closer. One slow step, then another, the needle sparkling like a knife made of glass. Emma's mind raced. She couldn't let him slip away again. She couldn't let him kill another innocent person. She couldn't let the ghost of her squad remain buried while their murderer breathed clean air. But she also couldn't jump forward. Not yet. Not until he was close enough. 2 steps. 3. Holloway reached her, stopping just inches away. So close she could see the faint splatter of dried blood on his mask. "You," he whispered, "were the mistake." Emma breathed out soft and slow as the memories rushed through her like fire. The explosion, the screams, the heat. Her teammates burning, calling her name. The Admiral dragging her out of the wreckage with one arm. Her begging him to leave her. His voice, "Clark, you're the only one who knows what he did. Stay alive." She had survived because the Admiral ordered her to. And now he was on a table fighting for his life again because of the same traitor. Emma lifted her chin slowly. "Then let me fix your mistake." Before he could react, Emma grabbed the wrist, holding the syringe, twisted sharply, and jammed her palm against the nerve point in his elbow. The same move she used in Kandahar to disarm an enemy fighter twice her size. Holloway screamed. The syringe went sliding across the floor. The agents rushed forward. Holloway kicked Emma hard in the ribs, knocking her to the ground, and ran toward the exit. 2 agents tried to block him, but he dodged between them with shocking speed, shoving a crash cart into their path. Emma coughed. Pain spread through her side, but she pushed herself up instantly. There was no time, no space for weakness. Not now. She ran down the dim hall, past overturned equipment, past a trail of footprints marked in blood. She chased him through the ICU wing, breath ragged, heart pounding like artillery fire, nurses scattered, alarms beeped. Security shouted as the agents followed. Holloway burst into the stairwell. Emma didn't hesitate. She dove after him, grabbing the back of his coat. They both tumbled down the first step, slamming into the railing. Holloway elbowed her in the shoulder and ran down the stairs 2 at a time. Emma gritted her teeth and followed. 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th. Each landing another echo of her past. The chase, the danger, the war she thought she'd left behind. At the bottom, Holloway burst into the basement, a place filled with pipes, shadows, and humming machines. He grabbed a metal pipe from the floor, swinging it in a wide arc. Emma dodged. The pipe slammed into the concrete pillar behind her with a deafening clang. "Just die," he roared. Emma ducked another swing and swept his legs, knocking him to the ground. She climbed onto him, pinning his arm with her knee. "You killed my squad," she screamed. "And I'll kill you too," he spat. But he couldn't move. Not with her weight on his chest. Not with her elbow crushing his arm. Not with agents closing in from every direction. Holloway thrashed one last time. Then, Emma drove her forearm into his throat, stopping him cold. The syringe he dropped earlier lay at the edge of the room, sparkling faintly. Emma reached out, slid it toward her, and held it up between them. "You used this to kill my brothers," she whispered. "To kill the Admiral. To kill me." Holloway stared at her, eyes wide, frantic. "You wouldn't." Emma tightened her grip. "No," she said, voice like ice. "But I will make sure you never hurt anyone again." The agents swarmed him, pulling him up, handcuffing his wrists behind his back. As they dragged him away, Holloway's voice cracked. "You think the Admiral will live? He won't make it. I dosed him too much." Emma froze. The words ripped through her chest like shrapnel. "No," she whispered. "No, he can make it. He has to. We need to get to him," an agent urged. "Now." They ran back through the hospital hallways, pushing past staff, officers, chaos, straight to Trauma 6. The moment Emma stepped inside, her breath caught. The Admiral lay still, too still. Doctors stood frozen. Nurses cried softly. The monitors showed a thin, irregular line. Emma ran to his bedside. "Move," she ordered, voice cracking. She grabbed his hand. "Admiral," she whispered, her tears finally breaking free. "You fought for me in Afghanistan. You held me while I bled. You carried me. You told me to live, so you don't get to leave now. You hear me? Not now." His vitals flickered. Emma placed her palm on his chest, eyes squeezed shut. "Come back," she begged. "Come back, please." A long, suffocating silence filled the room. And then, a sound. Beep, beep, beep. The line steadied. Emma collapsed forward, her forehead falling onto his shoulder as relief shook her entire body. The Admiral's eyelids opened weakly. "Emma," he whispered, voice thin and broken. "You survived." "So did you," she whispered back. Agents flooded the room. The director stumbled in, pale. Nurses gasped. Doctors stepped back in awe. The lead agent came to Emma with a sealed envelope. "You ended a traitor's operation," he said softly, "and saved a national hero. Federal Command is giving you this." Emma opened the envelope. A letter bringing back her identity, a federal pardon, a Medal of Valor recommendation, and a certified transfer. $5 million. "For your survival," the agent said, "and for your silence until now." Emma stared at it, tears filling her eyes. She didn't care about the money. She cared that her squad wasn't forgotten, that their deaths meant something, that justice found the man who betrayed them. The Admiral squeezed her hand weakly. "You're still the best medic I ever had." Emma broke completely, burying her face into his shoulder as the entire room watched. She wasn't invisible anymore. She wasn't forgotten. She wasn't a ghost. She was Emma Clark, the last SEAL medic, and she had finally come home. If this story moved you even a little, please subscribe. Your support is what keeps stories like this alive. And I'm begging you, don't leave without hitting that button.